Okay, this is the seventh anniversary of Paco de Lucia's passing, and I always do a tutorial this time of year. And this time I'd like to focus on the Fandango Naturales. This is a form in the flamenco genre that is not used very often for a guitar solo. However, in the world of cante, it's enormous. Fandango Naturales is a favorite of a lot of cantores. Very beautiful, and for guitar players, it's one of the simpler things to learn how to accompany. We have to just kind of listen, question and answer style. And so we basically start with the concept here that we have doing fandango in rhythm, which is fandango de cuerda. And I think most people, if you're familiar with that already, it's just a 3-beat phrase. And hopefully you'll learn it por arriba. You can transpose this to por medio, right? So in por arriba, it's un, dos, tres, un, dos, tres, un, dos, tres, un, dos, tres, right? You put that in por medio. The only thing we do really different would be instead of the D minor, we do Si bemol, B flat. Okay, so we do un, dos, tres, un, dos, tres. And then instead of going un, dos, tres, un, dos, tres, instead of that, we'll do something simpler, like un, dos, tres, like that. Un, dos, tres, so just open A. Right? So we have the same meter, but with Fandango Naturales, we don't have the strict tempo. So it's been taken over by other forms that are a little more interesting to investigate when there's no meter or there's no strict tempo. I mean, forms like malagueña or taranta or minera are a lot more interesting for guitar players to work with solos. So we don't have a lot of examples. In Paco de Lucia's case, we have one. This one is called Fiesta and Moguer, that he recorded on Fantasia Flamenca. And we can use this kind of as a model to serve for when the accompaniment of cante is needed. He doesn't play any falseta in this that's like a copla, like it goes to the major key, what the singer does. He just sticks to the basic intermediate falsetas that you would do between the letras or the coplas. So it's a really nice form to use as a basis for learning this palo, which every guitarist needs to know some of this for accompanying cante. We don't need a lot of falsetas, really. We just have to know the structure. But in this particular case, I think it's an interesting guitar solo, and it's a shame that we don't see a lot of these in the modern repertoire. I think maybe Viejín did one, and I can't think of anybody else, to be honest. So Fandango Naturales, when we look at the phrasing of it, even though it's libre, it still has a kind of a meter to it. Okay, so now what I'd like to do is just talk about kind of how I view the phrasing. And this is just my way to do it. In most cases, they don't even teach a counting system for fandangos. So I'm going to speak a little bit about it in Español también. So, as we know, we have counting in soleá. We count to 12. And so you could kind of do the same thing for fandango, but you don't want to literally kind of do the same counting over top. If you try to put a map on top of soleá from fandango, it doesn't really work. Okay? So, por ejemplo, en español, a contar al compás de soleá, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. So for fandango, we usually just count in tres. 1, 2, 3, 1. See? So, but if I put the numbers, si tú quieres poner los números similar a soleá, a fandango, a contar, como decir, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or 11, 12 al final, not 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So, that's the basic compás, pero we have some other kinds of phrases. A lot of the times we do this kind of phrase. phrase, so we're going to count this phrase not on starting on the 1 like we do soleá. Soleá is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? This is not that. We're doing 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? So, cambia el tono al 9. And so, this phrase is the way we're going to think of all the falsetas, really. All the falsetas are doing the same kind of phrasing, even though it's free of tempo. They're following that type of phrase where they start on 11, accent the 1, 11, 12, 1, and then you have a chord or you have something going on there to answer, and then you have the resolution phrase. So you think of that first part, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, is the pregunta, y respuesta, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And 9 is the resolution, okay, resolución. So for the compás, it's like, okay, that's how the phrases of the falseta is going to go as well. Okay, so 11, 12, 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so all the falsetas are going to follow the same form, but sometimes you have a medio compás, half compás phrase. And this concept is the same. Mismo concepto de soleá es medio compás, o bulerías, or algo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, respuesta. Pero repetir esta parte. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. That's how we do half compás, okay? Same thing can happen in Fandango. But this way you want to think of it. Whenever you have the half compás, final, think of it as that last part repeating. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? So, siempre lo mismo, parte de compás, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Y final. So, whenever you have medio compás, that's how we count. Okay? So, the first falsetas are cuadrado, and they repeat. Okay? So, those are going 11, 12, 1, and then answer. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so here's the technique. Accent the 1. 11, 12, 1. This is horquilla. And 2, and 3, and 4. Repeat, but that phrase, repeating now, is counted 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Same thing here. 11, 12, 1. 11, 12, 1. And we resolve here. It'll be 4. And then we repeat again. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and that would be 10. Okay, so the 9, 10. So, again, this technique here is just arpeggio AMI. Accent to 1, al 1, or 7. We do this pull off just 2 notes, or actually those 2. Okay, so now es medio compás. Ahora, así. So este note es 10, al tiempo 10, pero ahora a contar al 5. Okay, so a 5, a 5, a 6, 7, 8, 9. Aquí es resolución 9. Okay. Y sigue igual en 12, okay? So 9, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. Escala cromática, si, di, mi, fa sostenido es 1. So we get accent that one. 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So al 9 is the resolution, so you can accent 9. 1. Okay, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. Okay, so that's how the phrases are working. We're either accenting 1 or 9. It's just a resolution phrase. Okay, so and this part repeats. So let me do it again here from C sharp. 9, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I jump down from the A down to E. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Otra vez, hammer, pull, accent, 9. Now this time we're just going to come down 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now here it sounds like a resolution, but this is where we do the pregunta. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so that's what's happening here. Okay, so starting from 3, we have to do this. Okay, so we're doing a PIMA this time on this. Once we get to the open D. Okay, that would be like count 4. So we were here, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 5 starts here, 5 and a 6 and a 7. So we do an arpeggio PAMI on 5. Then here we do the horquilla. Again, horquilla is thumb, these two together, and that one separate from the D. I do a hammer with that guy. I mean a pull off, sorry. To B flat, then a hammer up to C, back down. Okay, and that should be 9. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so that's 9. And that's the resolution phrase, as we saw before. So now we just do compás, okay? And the kind of compás he does is pretty interesting. We do abanico. You can do this little hammer pull off. Here I really like this rajeo. He does index or pinky, middle ring, index, and then upstroke, pinky ring, middle index. So that's a 5-stroke roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. But then he repeats it with a golpe. So it's like 5 and 4, right? 9. Okay. And that's how he's accenting there off of the 11, right? So this was like 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now here he does the normal 5-stroke roll, 2 per beat on 11, 12, 1. Okay. So that's your 11, 12, 1. Okay. And then when you're changing the chords here, it's just this good old galloping strum that you would do in Fandangos, like vuelva, you know, so same kind of thing. You do. Okay. Now after beat 3, we're going to jump right to this chord, which is a C7, and go N4 and 5, and accent the 5 there, and then we have 6 and 6 and 7. Okay, so N4 and 5 and 6 and 7. Okay, this is a C7. Then we do a triplet on 8. 8 and a 9. Okay, so again, there's our ending phrase. 8 and a 9. All right, so counting wise, it's a real simple concept, but you don't have to count. Eventually, you're going to ingrain this feeling. Después del tiempo, a cantar 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No es necesario. Es un sentido de frases. Siempre los frases son iguales, okay? So, 1, 2, 3, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's right. 1, 2, 3. Okay? 5, 6, 8, 9. Okay? Okay, so then there's a golpe and the falseta begins on 11. Okay? Because again, it's cuadrado. 11. This is a triplet phrase, triples, tresillos. 11. 1, 4, 5. Okay, same idea here, but now we have G sharp up to E. So that's 9. So we repeat repeat that phrase, son 11. 3, 4. Now we have this phrase on 5. Again, triplet. Con pulgar. 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so this one I hit on 10. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we start this on 11. Okay, 11, 12, 1. Okay, so this is. Hit it this way if you want to do a full chord. And these are still triplet phrase, right? But then what he does here is like a galloping phrase on 4. 4 and a 5 and a 6 and a 7, 8 and a 9. Okay, so again, you have your 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 there. And once again, you know, if you want to play in compás, this whole thing works nice in compás. Al tiempo. Pero, you know, you can do these phrases very elastic, right? So when we get to that F chord there, sorry, the B flat, this is like alzapua. You might recognize that from a bolerias that we did before, right? Now, the very ending phrase here is your classic one that you might know from Fandango por arriba. Same thing, but we're por medio. Okay? But he's got a triplet feel to it. So here's how that phrase goes. Starts on 10, because we ended here. 9, 10. Now this is interesting. We get to 12, 10, and 11, and 12. So we put a golpe on 12, which isn't the downbeat. So you got to keep that in mind. 1 is the downbeat. Okay, so 10, 11, 12, 1. Okay, so this is 1. 1, 2, 3. So you can see this thing happen. That's our 1, 2, 3 all the time. 1, 2, 3. Right? That's our pregunta, and respuesta is the alzapua that we're going to do next. So again, start on 10. And it's like a triplet. Okay? We get here and we're going to do alzapua. Pretty simple Antiguo style. Okay, 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a 6 and 7, 8, 9. Okay, and we're doing and on 9, como siempre, al 9, y triplet. Okay, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? So same thing, we have the compás phrase at the end. So that's the end of the falseta. And we can call that the second falseta. So there's like an intro falseta, compás, this is the second falseta. Okay, so we have a third falseta to look at. Alright, so let me just play that one more time. And he does a variation this time on the 5, 6, 7, 8 part, which is pretty cool. It sounds kind of like Siguería type stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve. Okay, so this is very much like siguería. Right? So these kind of phrases are really popular with when you hear cante and you hear this little ways to end it. Nice, okay? And again, we always doing 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve is the final, okay? And then the falsetto begins again on 12. Or sorry, 11. Once, 12, 1. Siempre. Okay? Again, we're doing a triplet phrase. Okay, this time we have a half bar here at the 3rd fret. So you're just using the pinky to move it around. That's the first 11, 12, right? Then this is C sharp. And pinky here. And I do an upstroke with the thumb. Keep the triplet going. Triplet, triplet, triplet. Okay? And that's our 2 to 3, right? So 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this phrase. Sorry, I'm going too fast. That's it. It's like a hammer pull. So you repeat this note. Okay, now here comes a nice phrase. Again, whenever we resolve, that's nueve. Okay, so we start the next phrase, once. Okay, so that's our pregunta. So G minor, C. Now here's a nice phrase. Okay, so we're coming down the scale from this, which is a C sus, so fa, mi, re. Now this is the nueve, the resolution, but we're gonna sigue. We're gonna come follow through the resolution, keep going. Okay, so but you can clearly hear the finale there. Sorry. Okay, but we're gonna keep going. So we do triplet, 9 and a 10 and 11 and a 12 and a 1. So these are your typical fandango contestas for the cante. Okay, so that's your 1 there. And there's our kind of finale right here. That beat is anyway. But again, we're not even going to stop there. So that would be like our 3rd beat, right? So 9 and a 10 and 11 and a 12 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a, right? We're going to do this chord, B flat, Si bemol. That's on count 3. So it's still the pregunta setup. So we're going to do another repuesta here. Starting from 4, 4. It's going to be this augmented chord. And now the final phrase. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? And so that's the ending. So you can see, you go through this whole piece this way. Each one of these phrases is working out this way, pretty much. Nueve. Do the exact same kind of answer there. Okay, so here's one spot where the compás is not exactly right. But when I put the headphones on, I heard a corte, and the reverb stops. So I think it was a mistake of some sort. It could have been a half compás or a noise that happened or something, but it doesn't add up. So this is the way you want to think of the connection here, so that you're always not cuadrado, but in compás, okay, or the phrasing is right. So okay, so this this one, on the recording sounds he's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not. It's 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, como siempre, okay? Es sol menor. Okay? And that's the resolution. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Fa sostenido. Right? So the next phrase is this. Again, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. And then the final, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so that's a little bit interesting phrase. Starting on mi here, second string. Cambiar la nota do. Do sostenido, do natural. Okay, and then we have another arpeggio that's kind of like the one in the beginning. Again, they all start on 11. Bass note. There's your 9, 10. 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 5, 9. Okay, so this is just your kind of bar going up here and back and forth, okay? 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? We get here. We have our 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Yep. So this is 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Okay, just right up the scale. And a stop there. And then he goes from 4 down. 4, 5, 6. So in other words, the same note repeats. 3. You stop. And again, you start on the same note. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now he would want to end here, but he ends in this position for fa. Okay. So let me just play up to there because that's your resolution again, like 9, right? So let me do that whole falsetto again. Okay. So now we're going to go down the scale here. We go to B flat, okay? This is B flat up here. So it's going F major 7, F dominant 7, B flat. And again, you can think of it as 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? So on the B flat, we're just going up B flat 7. This is E, natural. F. And G, and then A flat. And you have to do it twice, okay? Because that's like on 3, I think, right? So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 again is your resolution. So the A major chord in first inversion with the flat 9. So this is interesting here. Now he's going to do eighth notes. So it's like 11, 12, 1. Like that. Okay, so 9. Sorry, it goes up and down. 11, 12, 1, and 2, and 3. That's what it is, sorry. So 11, 12 is an arpeggio. 11, 12, 1, and 2, and 3, 4, 5. And this is again like, this is your 5, 6, 7, right? 5, 6, 5, 6. Again, up and down arpeggio. This is 9. Now here we're going to do picado, but we'll start right on 10. Okay, so it's kind of like a pickup to 11. So I still think of 11 as the starting place of the phrase. Right? So that picado, this is B flat inverted. Start here, mi, and mi, fa, sol, la. just up and down. Here we cross pick. Okay, to C sharp. So like this cross pick here. Cross pick. Okay, and then that's your resolution to 3, or your pregunta, right? 5 and 6 and 7, 9. Okay, so here we're doing again 8th notes. On A7, this is A7, D7. Okay, and here on once we do begin the next phrase, which is arpeggio. Okay, so on re. Okay, once, 11, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we're here. Okay, that's our first resolution. Okay, so this is C7, climbing up, forward, up to the A, pull off. To F. Okay, so one more time. And these are just kind of up and down arpeggios. Now we do F7, which is this chord. Okay, so we have a F7 resolved to B flat. So that's a triplet still. Like, I realize you can do that all pulgar if you want. And then this one, you're gonna do this still triplet. Okay, so I'm doing that. Sorry, up to E. This is B flat 7. Switch that scale to C sharp here, and here's a pull off. Okay, and that's count 9. Okay, if you count it all the way through from 11 here, 11, 12, 1, 2, sorry, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 3, 5 into 5 into 6 into 7 and 8 and 9. So you count right on up to the 9 here, and then you got. So the end of that falsetta connects to this. But before I show you that, because there's a variation on it, I want to do the whole falsetta for you. Okay, because we went through a whole bunch of like 2 other falsettas after this one. Okay, just so you can hear how it sounds. So let's start up here with this part. So there's a slight variation on the phrase, the alza pua phrase. Okay, so he was doing triplet phrase before, starting there, right? So here's a kind of a more modern concept with the fandango phrase, is to shift to 16th notes. So he's doing this 3, and then here he begins again, and a 4, right? And a 40 and a 5. 5, and. So it's like 4 and a 5, and. So I'll do it real slow. Okay, and then he's going to keep the 16ths going off the 6. 6E and a 7E and a 8E and a 9. Okay, so again, he's dropping the scale, but it's syncopated. Muy syncopado. Al 6, al 9. Okay, 6, 9. And then after 9, you go. Okay, or something like that. Alright, so like an arpeggio. So again, very slow. Okay, so we're going to end there, and then we have the final falseta, okay? Final falseta as the one again has a medio compás, okay? So, but it's here again, it starts on 11, 11, 12, 1. So, here's a, that's with the middle and pinky. Okay, so that's hammer. And those are a triplet. 11, 12, 1. So that's the accent, uno. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You put these together. Abierto. Y final 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Ahora es una picado muy famosa de solo quiero caminar, ¿no? Pero es un fandango, pero muy viejo. So aquí is the pattern. Okay, so re, do, re, mi, fa, y re. Okay. Up to sol, and then up and down, la, sol. Okay. So esa frase empezar en 11 como otras frases, ¿no? Okay. So actually, yeah, this one is cuadrado. You know, it's cuadrado. Después de esa parte es una parte con acordes. Esa parte tiene un medio compás, pero esa parte de picado es cuadrado. 11, 12, 1, 2. Okay, and then we start on 3, 3, 3, and a 4, and a 5, and a 6, and right. Oh no, it's like 1, 11, 12, and a 1, and a 3. Sorry, 2E, and 2E, and so no, it's on dos. It's on 2E. Okay, so 11. 12, 1, 2, 2, right? So only dos notas and dos, y, dos, y, 3. Aquí es la misma pattern. Same exact pattern. La misma, igual, pero nota mi bemol. Okay, pero it's un poquito sincopado porque it's not really, you know, it's like tangos, I think, right? Tangos. Okay, so es raro, muy raro, pero es buena frase y buen para picado. Okay, so al final Okay, so si bemol, la, sol. Okay, aquí fa, mi bemol, re. Okay. Okay, so up and down on the D string. Fa, mi bemol, re, mi bemol, fa, mi bemol, re, do sostenido, si bemol, la. Okay. So when you count through it, 1 E and 2, and, sorry, 11 and 12, 1, 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 5 E and 6 E and 7, 8 E and 9, al 9, okay, cuadrado, perdón, es cuadrado. Oh, no. Aquí es un golpe al 10. Okay, so 9, 10 y ahora 11, 12, 1. Okay, la misma frase del compás, okay, con rajeo. Ese tono es fa 7, ¿no? Okay. Y también so cambiar el tono aquí. Okay. So right off the bat, it's like half compás, medio compás. So después de 10, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, 7, 8, 9, 2. Completamente frases del medio compás. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Siempre. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, 7, 8, 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? So that's how I'm thinking about this phrase. Okay? But either way, it's got off by 1 half compás. So you can decide if you want to count it or think of it, because it doesn't really matter. It's like medio compás in there somewhere. Whichever one of these you want it to be is the one. Okay, so you just know the last one is the final phrase. Okay, so okay, C7 like this. So I'm coming down the scale. Think like this. Same thing here. B, C bemol. Okay, so that's a la. Okay. And the last one. Okay, now here's why it's medio compás, because this one is the setup, like that's why that's happening. So okay, except we're not gonna do the tono. We're just gonna do the bajo, solo bajo. So and here I set up this chord to just do this simple ending. So that's tres, okay? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so this is 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8, and 9. 3, 4, y 5. 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, and 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then what we have here at the very end is your typical kind of thing we started with this. Except on this last phrase, I think he does it like a triplet instead of a eighth note phrase. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, 6, and a 7, 8, and a 9. Okay, so basically the same phrase that we did in the beginning, except as triplets. Okay, so let me do the whole chord sequence again. So we ended the scale there, right? Let me do it actually from the scale, so you got the whole thing from 11. 11. 10, and 11. Okay. 8, 9, y 10, y 11. Okay, so this is 5, 4, 7, 6, and then open. Cuidado, porque no necesita esa nota. Okay, so cuidado. Yo apoyar mi pulgar aquí. It's a nice open sounding chord. All right, so that's the whole piece, and I think it's a really good model for understanding Fandango Naturales, so that you can use this concept for if you're ever going to try to pick out a falseta by ear and you're not clear on how the phrasing is. Most likely it's some kind of phrasing like this. Sometimes you have a phrase that starts on 1, but as we can see, what Paco's doing is he never does that. He's always starting phrases on 11, right? And in the cases where there's a half compás, you can think of it as like the repetition at some point of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, because that's kind of how the phrase resolves. And again, this is my own way of counting it. You don't have to count it this way if you want to count it any way you want. If you really want to map soleá, you can try to do it. It just doesn't work. I tried that before. It doesn't work. So it just gets more confusing. If the numbers are not meant to match up. Okay. So you can start everything on 1 if you want, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's gonna get weird too, because that means all your resolutions are on 11. 6, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Right? So that doesn't make a lot of sense either. So I just started based on this simple phrase: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I just base everything off of that. And it's easy now to make sense of phrases. I don't have to count this way. That's why it's actually hard for me to teach it this way, counting, because I'm not counting when I played it, But I understand it in that way. That like whenever I see the resolution phrase, I say, oh, okay, 5, 6, 7, 9, right? So if I see something weird timing-wise, I can usually fix it by understanding that that's where the music is heading, is to that final phrase. Okay, so I hope you got something out of this tutorial. I know it was a little bit wordy, but I think it's important to understand this form. So I hope you got a lot out of it.